Hey guys, welcome back to the Laid-Back Homestead. I'm Crystal, and today I'm gonna do a couple of things around the garden. Figured I'd take y'all with me, but I'm excited because I finally narrowed down my best and worst performers of tomatoes, and I have finally figured out what tomato varieties I want to start for fall tomatoes, which this will be my first year ever growing fall tomatoes, so I'm really excited about that. So I'm not sure if you can see that. That is rain clouds. And there is nothing more gorgeous than rain clouds when it's already 90 degrees out here before 11 a.m. Come on, rain. So I go through this every year. I struggle with when to pull my tomatoes, partially because these tomato plants have been in my life since January. And so I'm just attached to them, but I know at this point they are not going to be producing, and especially in my wilty beds, I'm really just delaying the inevitable. So I think this weekend we are going to come out, and at least this very first bed, we're going to chop and drop everything that looks like it has wilt or will die from wilt, and I think I'm going to plant corn. Now, where I live, it's a little late to plant corn, but not terribly so. So I think I can get away with it. At least I'm going to give it a go. And the corn, if this bed does indeed have the wilt, the corn will be able to take it and it won't be a problem. One thing that absolutely loves the heat is my basil. So you can see this one wants to start flowering. So I'm going to come out and do a huge basil harvest. That way I can get it preserved. And I'll have 3 recipes that I'll be able to share with y'all, all to do with preserving your basil. So that is something I'm gonna go ahead and grab my basket so we can get this basil. So I harvest my basil. A lot of times I do a big basil harvest like this when I see my plants are trying to flower. So I'll come through and take the majority of it. And I'm going to cut it low because I want it to come back bushier. And I do have some peppers in here from my hydroponic harvest that I haven't had a chance to process yet. So let's go get the rest of the basil. This purple basil is gorgeous and is probably performing the best in the yard right now. It's the only one that is not trying to seed. Oh boy, my hand smells so good. And last, I've got some more, what is this? The lettuce leaf basil. Lettuce leaf basil. So, that's a lot of basil. Looks like I'm gonna have a busy day in the kitchen. I got so excited for a second because I saw a pop of color and I've been waiting to see what this is. I thought it was a bulb. I planted it out. I'm not sure it doesn't have wilts, so I'm not sure if I'll ever actually see what it is. But somebody had posted a similar looking picture for identification in my local group, and people were commenting saying that it was a type of marigold that blooms in the fall. So I'm still holding out hope that it'll do something. But I saw this pop of yellow and I was like, oh, maybe it's doing something. It's not. It's my melon that I planted in here is growing up using it as a trellis. So at least the melon's trying. So you can see I went through all of my beds that had basil in it and I chopped them down pretty low. Some I will let flower. The bees really like the flowers. I like to bring in the pollinators. So some of them, I'll let them go to seed. But for the most part, we harvested everything that was bushy and everything that was about to flower on me. All right, so hopefully it's not too crooked. The way I had to angle my camera, it's a little bit weird. I have my seed box here, and what I did was I took out all of my tomatoes, seed packets. And then here, just this pile alone, I have all the seeds that I didn't even start this year. These were all new varieties I didn't even grow. So this is a definite on my list to grow for for spring of next year. I guess let's start with the ones that didn't do the job. So I went through my notebook here and kind of separated them out. The ones that truly didn't grow well here for me this year, which were my mortgage lifters. I have not had success with mortgage lifters. I've tried different varieties of them. They just haven't done it for me. I may try in the fall just to see if a different climate makes a difference. I'm not sure. Green zebra, again, not exactly good production. My biggest issue is I don't really know when to harvest it. So you kind of get into this, when do you pick a green tomato? And the same goes for the great white. So I have tried for years. I don't know when to pick it, so I don't really have good luck with it. This is another mortgage lifter variety. Again, not sure about the fall with him. And to my surprise this year, my Cherokee purples also didn't produce. I don't normally have problems with Cherokee purples. I'm not sure if it was just wilts got to them in the beds that they were in. I didn't start as many of those plants as I normally do because I had so many other varieties to pick from and to try. It's very possible that I just didn't give them a fair shot. So I'll try them again in next spring. I normally do good. This pile of seeds, I'm not going to go through all of them unless y'all want me to. This is basically every variety of tomato seed I've ever tried to grow at some point in my yard. These red packs I'm going to talk about for just a hot second because not a lot of people know about these. This is the tomato seeds from the Dwarf Tomato Seed Project. I have tried to grow these both hydroponically and in my yard. The only fruit I've ever gotten off of them was the ones I grew in my DWC bucket. I really didn't get any production out of the ones in my yard, and I didn't get any production across 2 seasons of growing them in my Dutch buckets. That could be user error when it comes to hydroponics. Maybe my nutrition just wasn't on point, but I am a little surprised that they didn't perform in my beds. So I'm not going to do these again for fall because I don't need a lot of tomatoes for fall. Fall, I really just need to grow what we enjoy eating. That's going to mainly be some paste style tomatoes because I didn't put up any salsa yet. And maybe, 1 or 2 slicer varieties. And of course, Brad's Atomic Grapes, just because I really enjoy eating those. And I apologize if y'all hear a dog in the background. My house backs a public trail. So we do end up hearing a bunch of wildlife and different animals and pets. Now, this pile right here are things that did okay enough in my yard. I can't say that they did amazing, and that would be a San Marzano. They did okay. Maybe if I would have grown more plants. I had trouble getting the seedlings to live though this year. My Amish paste, this was actually the first year I ever even got an Amish paste to properly grow, and it did beautifully. The one plant I had did beautifully in a grow bag until the wilt got it. But I mean, I finally had gotten the true Amish paste size fruits off of it. And then my pink varieties, we had the Pink Girl and the Pink Delicious. They did okay. I was worried about them earlier on in the season. They looked like they weren't going to produce. They started to produce later on. For someone who lives in a climate like me, that's not the best. They may do better in the fall, but I don't need that many slicers. Paul Robeson is another one this year that just did okay for me. he's done amazing for me in the past. He was my first ever 1 pound tomato that I've grown, but this year, I don't know, he just didn't do as good. So here, this pile is where I think I'm gonna go for the fall. I found some old seeds that I had saved from a mortgage lifter from 2023. This must have been one of the very few, I don't even remember harvesting a mortgage lifter. This must be one of the very few that I've ever had grow. So I'm going to give my own seeds a try for fall, just to see how they do. Now, this pile is a little bit mixed because it has both the things that performed very well in my yard, plus the things I'm going to grow for fall. So I'll just go through them one at a time. So what performed very well in my yard was the Chef's Choice Orange tomato and the Chef's Choice Bicolor. They are hybrids. Maybe that had something to do with it, but they both performed really well. I'm not going to grow them in the fall. I simply just don't need them in the fall. Now, another one that grew very well that I will grow again next spring, Black from Tula. Amazing production. I had great production from her. Something that grew, I didn't plant this. I didn't plant this one, but this was the volunteers that had come up in my greenhouse, the Super Sweet 100s. They grew fantastic because they were volunteers. I didn't plant them. I'm not replanting them for fall, but they did really, really well. Now here, this one I didn't plant last spring, but I'm going to plant it in the fall. It is a determinate variety, I believe. Yeah, and it's called Red Pride. So this one I'm going to give a go for the fall. My black brandywine did amazing. This was my 1 pounder. I'm not sure. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to grow this one again in the fall. I said I wanted at least one slicer. We'll go with black brandywine, see how they do in the fall. Another one that did amazing was the red sausage. And this was just a red paste type tomato, but it really did outperform my regular Romas. And then what I would say would be the king of my garden this year was the giant garden paste. So I will be growing that again in the fall, as well as the red sausage. My Roma varieties did okay. I will probably grow, I may save the hybrids for the spring. I will probably grow just a regular Roma or two in the fall. Cream sausage, another one that did amazing this year for me. Now, I have to admit that the first year I tried to grow these, I did not have success. So I'm hoping, let's see how many seeds I have left in here before. Yeah, I got a bunch. Okay. So I'm hoping I'm going to give this a go in the fall again. We'll see. And then, oh, another one that did amazing was the beefy purple. This one also did really, really well. I'm going to be growing this one again too, I think. Yeah, got enough seeds to where I can get a fall and a spring. I don't know if these are hybrids. It doesn't say it, but maybe I'll save seeds in the fall of this just to see. And when it comes to my cherry or grape tomatoes, I don't really grow cherries. We don't really eat them, but grapes, I always go back to Bride's Atomic grapes. I'd like to try like maybe Barry's Crazy Cherry, I think it's called. I don't have seeds for that, but there's always, oh, it's a moth. There's always next year's spring catalog. Yeah, that is all the tomatoes that I will be growing in the fall. It'll be this stack right here. And seed starting for us in Southeast Louisiana for fall tomatoes, I believe is the second to last week or the last week of July. So that will be coming up. and I'll take y'all along with me. We'll decide how many of what we're going to do. And then we'll also be starting all of our actual fall seeds. I'm really excited about this one. This is new to me. Golden Boy celery. It's supposed to be kind of like a yellowish celery. That'll be exciting. So yeah, if you're interested in any of these varieties, or if you have any questions about any of these varieties, or if you want me to go through all the varieties that I've ever grown, I certainly can. I go through this stack every year and add on to it. Obviously, I have all of these that I didn't even grow this year. I mean, everything from like orange jazz. I mean, all that I'm going to grow next spring to give it a go. And then I always kind of go through and pick out different varieties to grow. And of course, like with anything, I'll probably change my mind 100 times. But I feel because my fall space is a lot more limited for tomatoes in spring, that this is definitely where I'm going to go for fall. So we will be starting those shortly. And if you were here for my last seed starting video with all the new squash varieties, I am happy to say that most of my new squash that I just bought was viable. I have only one of the squash that didn't come up, and that was with the autumn frost variety. So they're getting a little leggy. I need to move them out to more direct sun. My Carolina Reapers are still not up. This was a long shot. I may have to start those in Ziploc bags, which is I normally do for my peppers. And maybe this guy will come up, maybe not. But so far, I'm at least happy that I finally have some squash going. And I'm sure in a couple of days, I'll be transplanting them out into the greenhouse. Well, it's a very hot day, and I am so appreciative for what cloud coverage I had today to just get out here and do a little bit of work. I still have to go fill up all of my Oyas because they're all bone dry at this point. It's just been super hot. And so, yeah, the gardener's work is never done. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. And until next time, stay blessed.